Today's program is brought to you by the Texas Deer Association. If you have any questions about deer farming, you can contact the North American Deer Farmers Association, where we have a link directly off of our website to theirs. And if you'd like to register to win a free deer farm, we're setting somebody up with everything it takes to have a deer farm. All you need to do is log on to winadeerfarm.com.
Hi, I'm Byron Young, and I live up there around Warrensburg, Missouri, and we've been planning on deer farming. Me and my wife, Julie, have been planning on deer farming for the last year and a half. And we've run across a lot of deer farmers and been to some of the ranches and stuff like that, and they're just an outstanding group of people.
We've been looking at the deer farming industry for a couple of years now, and we've been down and visited Kevin's farm several times. He's taught us how to bottle feed his baby deer, and that of course is a lot of fun. He's also taught us some basic farming needs and some basic medical things. We've researched the industry because there's a lot of legislation going on in regards to that, and we still think that it's a good, profitable business, and I think we're looking forward to moving on.
Holy smokes, you know, I just love coming out here and seeing what you're doing. I mean, this is your pen. Every year you have your 2/3-year-olds in this same area, don't you?
Yep.
And I mean, I wound up, I remember coming here and the deer come up out of the woods and I look at them and I'm just so impressed. The one thing that what Kevin winds up doing, he tries to go for that wow factor. I mean, and you look at these deer and it's just wow. I mean, they're beautiful. So these deer ultimately, as you have new deer farmers come out here and look at your bucks, okay, and are they going to use these bucks? Would they use these bucks in for breeding? Or would they use these bucks to release on a high fence place for the genetics to spread through the high fence place? What would they use these deer for?
I think a little bit of both, Keith. We definitely sell off a select few of bucks every year for breeders. Every year we have a good participation on that. And then we also do a loan out program that's been very popular. When you buy a group of does from us, we usually try to sell our does bred. But then the next year, we'll help you and assist you on the AI program, and then we will give you a loaner buck to use. We'll let you come pick a buck out that you like to back up that program with. That's one of the consultation things that you get with Whitetail Sales.
This is what I see is that when you wind up dealing with Kevin, okay, what you wind up having, you have literally, it's a one-stop shop for the deer farmer. When you come out here, you can see everything from bottle-raised babies all the way up to great big breeder bucks and everything in between. And so, you know, if you're interested in deer farming, not just talking about Missouri. I mean, he's here in Missouri, but you help people out all over the country, right?
All over the country.
Absolutely.
I can't stress to you enough, if you're going to get involved in the deer farming industry, you need to get involved with somebody who's a mentor. Somebody who's going to be there and hold your hand and to help you out with any problems. And Kevin Grace at Whitetail Sales is a great resource that will help you out. So give them a website to contact you.
Whitetailsales.com would be the website. Phone number 573-392-8230 would be our office number. We can get you to call on the cell phone, my cell phone, whatever we need to do on that end.
And when you come out here, you're going to be impressed. I promise you.
My name is Greg Kasner. I am the owner of Fondo Bucks Whitetail Deer Farm in Clark, Missouri. I bought a deer farm about a year ago. It's been super successful, and I attribute that to the help from Kevin Grace out here at Whitetail Sales and Service. We are really excited about purchasing some deer from them. We are amazed at what he's doing out here and how his deer look. I think we're going to have a great successful career in our deer farming, and we thank Kevin for that.
Now it's time for the Beam Fence Minute.
As a landowner, one of the things that a lot of guys have problems with is having a fence that's properly spliced together. I'm Mark Beam from Beam Fence Company. Let me show you how we splice wire together. Over the years, we've tried different ways of splicing wire together. We found out that the Nyco press crimp works the best for us. It's a little bit stronger and it's also longer, so you only have to crimp down once versus the smaller crimps where you have to add more and more together. With this type of crimping system, one crimp does it all. People want to have a fence that's going to last a long time. This is one of the tools that we use to make sure that that happens. If you'd like to find out more about constructing a fence, go to our website at beamfence.com.
Okay, my name is Kevin Bortz. It's with Broken Road Whitetails. We've been
in deer farming for about 2 years now. Actually was watching this show, saw Kevin Grace's farm, went over and visited, and that's how it all got started.
And I'm in the education business, and I would just have it be a full-time coach for what you need to help and support you day, night, early in the morning. I've texted Colin myself or Kevin, and both of them are right there. I think the bigger deal is anybody can be there at the beginning, but when you get 2-3 years in and you see that you have a really strong relationship with those individuals, they're part of your family then. And I don't think that happens with everybody in the deer business, but I do know it does with Kevin.
All right, so how old are these guys?
We'd have 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and yearlings all in this pen.
Mm-hmm.
This is my original herd I started with in 1993. You know, Glory came out of here, Bull came out of this pen. Those are bucks, you remember, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is heavy in Texas influence, very heavy in Texas influence. I've been breeding Texas since 2001 in this pen.
Well, folks, this pen right here is actually in a different location than the other pens in the office. And this is actually the first farm, isn't it?
This is my first farm. First deer herd, and I actually had another farm, but it's the first deer herd. I started this in 1993.
And so these deer that we're looking at here are out of the original deer that were on this farm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but did I hear it right when I was in Florida the other day that some of the deer that are in the Florida herd actually came from here?
They did. Half of that herd was based off of this originally. This was heavy Texas influence, and we know when we went to Florida that we had to have that heavy, deep Texas influence, and we took this herd down there.
Folks, we were in Florida just the other day and at Mike Mansfield's and at High Expectation Whitetails, and Mike has got some phenomenal deer. Now, you heard Kevin talk about the deep, heavy Texas influence being here in Missouri, so how could it be taken over there? What happened before the borders closed? Kevin and Mike acted quickly before the borders closed, selected the genetics they wanted that would be hardy in that environment, because it is a tropical environment down there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Texas influence genetics are very hardy, and Mike's deer down there are really, really big, and he is absolutely insistent that the reason why they do so well is because of the Texas influence.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have very little death loss down there, very little illness. The Texas influence strain, as you've heard me mention multiple times over the years, is what is needed for deep south breedings.
This right here, there are some exceptional deer in here. Now, will you wind up using any of these guys for breeding?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at that 6x6 right there. He's a toad. I mean, I don't know what he scores, but anymore, I've got to the point, I ask what a deer scores. I mean, look at this guy right here. I ask what they score, but I really don't know why.
It's the frames. Really, talk about how big a frames they got.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of deer in here.
Yeah, but as we're looking at these deer, I'm thinking that's the thing that is consistent with your deer. Frame, frame, frame. And it's like, it's the foundation. That's the foundation. You build a deer on his frame. And so you've got it figured out with the doe lines, and the cool thing is you bottle feed does every year, okay? Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is obviously to keep them gentle. And I had an opportunity to go up there and spend some time in that fawn barn, and I just love those little guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, these right here, these are some phenomenal deer. And you're seeing the Texas influence on these deer.
Heavy.
Is the bloodline a little bit more heavy Texas than the bloodline in the other pens?
Actually, I bought a bunch of doe, not a bunch, I bought a few does from Texas 2 years ago and brought in here, so I even have the maternal side Texas in this pen also. The top side, the original stock I have, is probably anywhere from 3 generations to 5 generations of Texas influence. Remember, even Glory, when Glory was born, he was the first son out of Texas influence I had on the farm. And he was 373 inches at 3 years old, which was the largest deer in the country ever at 3 years old back then. I think he was 2005 when that happened.
And so what you're looking at here, the descendants from all that breeding.
Yes.
And again, these are all you have the registry, they're in the NADAR registry.
Oh, absolutely.
If somebody wants more information on whitetail sales, give them your website, please.
Whitetailsales.com is our website.
Go to it, and you're going to find a lot of really good information right here out of Eldon, Missouri.
Hi, my name's Greg Mills with Millsview Whitetails. I started doing business with Kevin Grace a few years ago when we got started in the deer business, purchasing some bred does. A year ago, we also bought a breeder buck from Kevin. I found Kevin and Colin both to be just excellent resources after the sale with their service has been fantastic, and it's one of the reasons that we continue to do business with Kevin.
You know, they call Missouri the show me state for many reasons, but when I come up here to Whitetail Sales, we show you some unbelievable deer, and it's always a great time. If y'all have any questions or comments about the show, let me hear from you. Get on my Facebook page, and I promise you we'll get right back with you. If you'd like to get a hold of Kevin Grace at Whitetail Sales, we'll have a direct link off our website to his. My name's Keith Warren, and I'd like to thank you for watching Deer and Wildlife Stories. Hey, what do y'all think? It's a pretty good afternoon, isn't it? Pretty afternoon if you're on the farm, yeah. What you're about to see is graphic in nature, so viewer discretion is advised. Last August, many of Texas's deer farmers were forced to kill hundreds of perfectly healthy deer in order to test them for chronic wasting disease. To date, approximately 600 deer have been killed, and the killing isn't over. What's worse is that out of all the deer that were killed, not a single one of them tested positive for chronic wasting disease. I don't know about you, but to me there's just something wrong with the picture when you start killing perfectly healthy deer to test them to make sure they're not sick with chronic wasting disease. Now, CWD has been around for over 50 years, and I'm a believer that CWD, it needs to be managed from science-based management rather than from a political agenda. And I think that we ought to learn from states that have been battling CWD for more than 50 years, and they themselves say that there's nothing they can do to manage it. What they need to do is just monitor it. So again, I think that we ought to base our CWD stuff all on science and not on a political agenda. If you'd like to find out more about chronic wasting disease, let me encourage you to go to the website cwdmyths.com.